Hey everybody, Melissa Harmel here, Realtor with eXp Realty Alaska. It's episode 7 of the Home in Alaska show, and I am so excited to come to you today and talk with one of my favorite Alaska home loan professionals. Today's topic, paying for your kids' college with an investment property. Hey Rhonda, it's
Hey,
great to see you
Melissa.
again.
Yeah, you too.
So, share with the viewers that might be watching us for the first time, how long have you been in the mortgage industry?
Let's see, they invented dirt when? No, I started this industry in 1983. Can you believe that? And gosh, you've been doing this an awful long time as well, huh?
1998. Yes. And you
Yeah.
and I've been working together, what, 15 years now?
At least 15 years. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, for all of you out there, Rhonda is the only certified mortgage planning specialist in the state of Alaska. And so, listening to what she has to say about what's happening and how to better use what I call sometimes other people's money in order to fund our lives is really super exciting. So, I know that over the past few years, normally what you and I do is we get on a conference call with our clients and we talk about stuff. And I know you have mentioned to a couple of my clients that, hey, you guys could buy this investment property and pay for your kids' college.
Mhm.
So, can you explain really how that works?
Yeah, this is actually a super fun strategy, and I've got about a dozen folks or so that are using this strategy. And we started doing this years and years ago, and it's kind of funny because my clients at that point in time had two boys, and they figured, and the kids were little, like 2 and 4 at the time. So they figured that if and when their kids got ready to go to school, then they would probably start college education off in Anchorage. So they bought a duplex in Anchorage, just kept it as a rental, and figured then if the boys went to college in Anchorage first, they'd have a place to live. So that was their original strategy, where they wouldn't have to pay for dorm kind of expenses. Well, as time went on and we started talking about it, then we said, well, that's fine. You cut the expenses because they have a place to live, but how are you going to actually pay for that education itself? And what if they don't go to school in Anchorage? What if they want to go out of state? And what if they don't go to school at all? And so we started re-strategizing that. And they did go ahead and buy the duplex. But what they did then was they sold that duplex to pay for their college education because they did not go to school in Anchorage, and one of them did not go to school at all. So life changed a lot over the last 18 years, right? So we've adopted that strategy now with multiple different people, where in fact, just a month ago, I had some folks in my office, they had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And so they were talking about the pricing right now and the interest rates and all of that stuff and what they can afford. And so we did some very long-term planning, which is the benefit of being a certified mortgage planning specialist. And we said, okay, so this home is probably not going to be your last home. The statistics show you're going to do between 7 and 11 real estate transactions in your life. So we're going to use this first one and call it number one son's home. We're going to live in it, buy it, live in it for a couple of years. We know it's not the perfect home for life, but it's going to be the stepping stone. And then in a couple of years, we're going to go look for another home that's another nice little kind of starter home. And we're going to call that for their daughter for her college education. They'll live there a couple of years. And then maybe they'll move on and get into a little bit bigger home where they will spend more time. So now, when the 4-year-old son turns 18 in 14 years, they'll have a home that's been paid off for almost half of the loan, right? And then they can choose whether that son is going to go to college or not, sell that home, and pay for his college education. And they didn't have to save a dime. Somebody else basically paid for their kids' college education. So I've got about a dozen folks doing this plan right now where we're every couple of years making a move, buying a home, mentally calling it kid number 1, 2, 3, 4's home, and having it available for should they decide to go to college and paying for that college education. Because we all know right now these student loans are crazy big. I mean, professionals, doctors, lawyers, that kind of thing are hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans.
Well, and the average college student today just getting a bachelor's degree doesn't seem to be getting them the same level of job offers. So a lot of these kids are having to go to 5, 6 year programs and walk away with some type of
Yeah,
master's. And I mean, the
exactly.
average college, even if it's in-state tuition, is 20, 25 grand a year.
Easy. Yep. Yep.
Easy. So I love what you said. So house one for first kid, house two for second kid, house three for third kid, house four for fourth kid. And with our equity positions right now, with the increase in equity that clients are seeing because of the shortage of housing right now and inventory, boy, those people that did this 5, 10 years ago, they'll be really in the sweet spot, won't they?
Absolutely. And like you've done this a long time. The markets are cyclical, right? They go up and down, but they kind of go up and down up the mountain. So yes, over the last 30 years, have we seen some cycles? Of course we have. But pricing today is not the same as it was 30 years ago. Did we have some down moments in the real estate industry over the last 30 years? Of course we did. But we're still up higher than we were 30 years ago. And so same thing, these are long-term investments. These aren't turn them over quick, get rich kind of flip kind of deals. This is long-term planning for a very specific reason.
So
And if you're
probably if your kid is 17, it's not going to benefit you to race out today and buy an investment property that you think is going to pay for their college in 2 years.
correct, correct. So, and if your child decides not to go to school, then what harm? You still have an investment property. You can keep it or sell it, and you still have a really good investment. So either way, it's a win. But it's a really great way to pay for college education without trying to penny pinch your own self. Because who knows what college fees are going to be in 14, 15, 16 years, right?
Well, I don't think anybody predicted they'd be what they were in the last 5 years. And if the economy continues going through what it's going through now, yes, it could double again, making it almost impossible for some people
Yeah.
to afford it. And also, too, when I went to school, student loans, there was probably 5 different programs you could get student loans from. There's only one program now. And the interest rates, I think the interest rate on my student loan when I was working on my master's was 2.39%. And they're 9 to 15% now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's even with interest rates kind of sneaking up, this still makes serious, great sense
Oh,
because,
absolutely.
I mean,
Because you're not paying it. You're
right,
not paying the interest. You have
right,
somebody else, a renter, a tenant,
right, right,
making those payments for you.
right.
So the rate is not the key. The
Mhm.
long-term goal is the key. That's the focus, not the rate today
Right.
or what it could have been last year or what it might be next year. It's the long-term goal of having your child have the ability to get a college education if they want to and not be saddled with student loan debt.
So any of you out there that know somebody that has young children, send this video to them because again, this is something that's a great strategy. Like Rhonda said, it's about a 15-year strategy to 17-year strategy. It's not a now strategy. And it will really help near the end of this when you want to go and send your kids to college in 15 years.
Mhm.
So if you follow me here on YouTube or Instagram or wherever you're watching this, I'm a big believer in sharing information so that you can make great decisions. Rhonda and I do a show every single week, and we talk about topics that you're interested in. So if you have any questions you have just been thinking about and really would like an answer from a certified mortgage planning specialist who's been doing mortgages, what did you say, since dirt was invented?
Something like that, yeah.
Please put it in comments below. Let us know what you'd like us to chat about. We do have topics set for the year, but however, if there's something you want us to talk about, we would love to add that. We'd love to hear from you. So again, let us know. And if you have any questions about the real estate market or any questions about home loans, at the end of this, you'll see our contact information on a slide. Feel free to reach out to us via phone, text, or email. And Rhonda, I'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week, Melissa.